Gary Gensler being in front of Congress today, he got lit up again by the chair of the House Financial Services Committee, Patrick McHenry, the guy in the bow tie. If you saw those clips, he lit him up pretty well, threatened a subpoena against him. We saw all of our favorites. I always forget his first name, Tom Emmer, I believe, from Minnesota. Ohio representative that I always forget his name as well, Warren Davidson. What did you make, Rags, of what you saw today? Because Ewok and I were going back and forth, and man, I'll tell you, Ewok, I'll just quote your comment to me. Gensler, some of the video clips we saw today, it was like, is that new? Is that a new one, or is that something from like a year ago? So more of the same, but what do you make of this, and how hot of a seat is this guy on right now?
Yeah, you know, as much of a spectacle that most of the Republicans are making, and some Democrats, but mostly Republican, I don't think it has any bite to it, unfortunately. I think that this is virtue signaling to the American public who are involved in crypto to say, hey, we're going to, you know, raise a stink about it because you've been blowing up our emails and our offices and our staffers and this and that. But ultimately, I believe that their hands are tied until the new president comes in, whoever that may be. So, you know, typically it takes about 4 months for a new SEC head to be kind of sworn in. And I don't think we're going to be seeing much until then, personally.
Yeah, it'd be nice if they could get some actions in on the whole, what are they looking at? A cabinet of type people, a group of people. They said a group of 6, no more than 3 of either party to help make the decisions. I mean, that would be nice if we could at least get that pushed through. But I agree with you. I don't see very much moving forward.
Well, it's all crazy anyway. I mean, think about this. Think about the conflict of interest that you have. Somebody previously from Wall Street who was in Goldman Sachs is now the head of the SEC. And some would say, oh, well, Rags, that's actually a really good thing. The vast wealth of experience that they have. Awesome. Okay, well, that's cool. What about all their buddies? You know, what about all the friends that they've done business with over the years? And not only that, like you look back into Gensler's, you know, he was the treasurer for the Democrat Party in Maryland. Okay, he's pretty much, you know, prior to January 1st, it wasn't actually Gensler who was doing the talking. It was actually Elizabeth Warren doing the talking for Gensler. Yeah. And as soon as Gensler came on scene, January 1st, Elizabeth Warren kind of disappears in the background, and now it's Gensler. Those two are thick as thieves. They're parroting the same type of stuff. I know Elizabeth Warren doesn't have the acumen or IQ to be able to talk about the things she was talking about. So it had to come from somewhere. We knew that they had tons of meetings. You saw Maxine Waters toeing the line, just doting all over him today. And guys, it's just disgusting. It's all the same stuff, and we just got to deal with it for a while. We're in the thick of what we've been begging for, which is clarity. Well, here it is.
Yeah, yep. Wasn't there also a backstory of Gensler and I forget what her name is, Caroline from FTX ordeal? Her dad from MIT. I think there was a connection there as well. So it goes really deep. It's bad.
Yeah, and regardless, I'd say regardless of your, well, I'm not going to say regardless. My political leanings indicate that if I have somebody who's in politics that is a product, part and parcel of the academic system in America, anytime from 1960 onward, I'm going to automatically assume that their mind is destroyed. Okay. And I'll tell you this, one of the big keys and giveaways, I don't know if you guys caught this, I think it was probably about a month ago. He gets on one of these morning shows, finance morning shows, and he refers to Satoshi Nakamoto as a her. Did you guys hear that?
Oh, no. Man. No, I didn't see that one. No.
All right, you look that one up. That's how you know his mind's compromised. Not only did Satoshi Nakamoto refer to himself as a he, but everybody referred to him as a he. There's proof of it, but he's not sure. So he's going to, again, virtue signal to the political left and use the term her, use the pronoun for Satoshi Nakamoto. Screw that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. maybe Zimzer or something like that.
Oh,
I'm not sure.
I
think there was also I don't know if it was Maxine. No, it wasn't Maxine Waters. Somebody in one of those meetings today referred to Bitcoin as Bitcom actually as well. That like literally not knowing Bitcoin, which is pretty funny.
Well, yeah. No, I mean it's crazy because we know that these Congress people, we know these representatives don't know shit about DeFi whatsoever. But we also know Charles Hoskinson went up on Capitol Hill late last year, and he said he got word that there are Bitcoiners that are actively working with these Congress people to create legislation to destroy DeFi. So this has been happening, okay? I think it goes past just hobbyists or Bitcoiners or fanatics. I think it's more tailored towards Wall Street and the business and services that they want to provide, and they want to push out competition, and they're willing to weaponize the legislative system to do so.
Yeah. Tom Emmer, I think it was today, said exactly that about Gensler, that, you know, is your lack of clarity really to attempt to continue to line the pockets of the incumbent system? Like, they don't want this kind of transfer of wealth, and they don't want to provide any kind of clarity for that exact reason. Well, let me ask you about this. So the thing that Ewok was referencing earlier, so Warren Davidson, the Republican representative from Ohio, has been talking about this idea of, basically, I mean, it would end up firing Gary Gensler, which I think everybody's pretty much in favor of at this point, but removing him and essentially having, it already is a panel other than him. I mean, there already are, I guess, 5 other individuals, but basically it would be a panel of 6 people, no more, it basically split down the middle, 3 from each side of the aisle. I mean, what do you think the chances are of something like that getting passed? Because I really agree with you, Rags. I mean, I think we're at the mercy of just the next election at this point, you know?
Yeah, you know, will that happen? Maybe, potentially. Maybe if a Republican gets in office. But even then, guys, you know, I'm just not convinced that our political system has our best interests at heart. And I'm not sure if changing that structure is going to bring about any significant change. You know, who's the primary person that's writing the dissent pieces? It's Pierce, right? Hester Pierce, is that her name?
Yes, yeah.
The mother of crypto or whatever. You know, one thing that I've noticed in politics is people can talk the talk until they get the power to be able to pull the strings, and they get put in that position. Sometimes people change. So one of the biggest worries that I have in all this, if they do change that structure or a new person gets in, it's always scary to think that the new person could be as bad or worse than Gary Gensler. And people don't think about that, especially in politics, man, because it's all backwards, it's all deception, it's all double speak, and you just don't know what you're going to get.
Well said. Yeah, at least Gary Gensler is kind of a useful idiot at this point. So, I mean,
well, we know where he stands. Yeah, we know where he stands. You know,
don't have to question that.
No, I didn't agree too much with Bernie Sanders last election, but I had no question about where he stood, so I respected him for that. You know,
good point.